anyway, I would just like to say, the first thing I'd like to have everybody raise their hand if you've ever run a $1 billion company. Me either. Okay, so trust me when I tell you that truly I'm just making this up as we go along. We have 15 brands now. We have over 5,000 employees around the world. We have 400 retail stores. And I've had the same job for 30 years now. In fact, it's the only job I've had for 30 years. And I've always kind of adopted the consciousness that as long as you care about three things, we'll be okay. And one is to just really maintain a long-term perspective in spite of highs and lows, in spite of Wall Street, in spite of retail economy, whatever, but everything's for the long term. Also, always stay true to the core consumer and the core retailers. And the last one is just to help and really work hard to grow the overall board sports market. And I'll spend some more time on that in a minute. But we can just stick to those three things. I think it will all be A-okay. And I think that I've always just used my instincts, my common sense, my values, my appreciation for the industry, and we've tried to really set an example out there. There's no real role models for us to copy. There's nobody who's been ahead of us who's gone through these uncharted waters that we can look at. I don't get a pamphlet from the government. I don't have a book that I can study about how to be $1 billion circular company. So we really are making this up as we go along, as I said. And I know that we're really easy to take pot shots at. I hear them all the time from our competitors. I hear it from Surf Cynic, my favorite thing. I hear it from small retailers. I hear it from some of the green hair tattoos or the alpha kids. And I obviously hear it from the cynical Wall Street types. But I can tell you right now, we have a lot of pride in what we do in spite of all that. And I'm absolutely amazed at the accomplishments of my team, my company, and our brands. And also, I'm a big believer, and we got to keep portraying the many facets of our sport. It's not just about the competition. I can tell you that ASP has done an unbelievable job, and all the people who worked on the amateur surfing bodies lately and redefining that. But I'm telling you that I don't think that any of us should forget that the original reason we all went to the beach was to ride away, enjoy the friendships, enjoy the stories, enjoy the energy of the water, the great traveling with your buddies, the humor, the exchange of great stories, falling asleep completely surfed out. I mean, that's what it's really all about. Competition is just one side of it that's great. But in greater global, greater America, it doesn't cut the mustard. They care about it a little bit. But I'll give you 5 other things that we can focus on that Main Street, America, and global will love. For start, big waves. Unbelievable today, the power and presence of big waves. It's like Mount Everest or riding a thing over Niagara Falls. We need to keep pushing the drama, the depth, towing, big waves, the energy, the saga, the stories, the drama. Quicksilver Eddie does that, of course, but we have Chopu now, we have Mavericks, we have Cortez Bank. Billabong's done an unbelievable job with their XXL awards. It just goes on and on. The big waves captures other people besides us. We need to really focus on that. The next thing is the beach. The beach. Okay, I've always had this thing about half the people in the world live at or near the beach, and the other half can't wait to get there. It's beautiful. It's the tropics. It's warm. It's blue water. It's palm trees. It's beautiful girls in bathing suits. It's all the stuff that gravitates around our business, and we own it. We are the deal. So let's keep promoting that. It's the beach. Travel. Travel to Exotica. It's indigenous people. It's tropical. It's the tribes of islands. It's great local cultures. It's art. It's architecture and customs of native people. This kind of stuff captivates media, large-scale media. They love it. And we are definitely part of that in our nomadic ways as being surfers. The next part is just the water sports themselves. Not only surfing, because there's shortboard, there's longboard, there's girls, guys, all this stuff in surfing, but don't forget about bodyboarding, kite sailing, windsurfing, wakeboarding, running rapids. Just moving water captivates anybody on the planet. Everyone can relate to moving water. And our sports are beautiful, especially when they're shown in slow motion, water dripping, the blueness of it, the bottom, and everything else. So show off the water. It's incredible how it can capture the imagination of media. And then, of course, the most important thing we have in our industry, I'm a big believer in this, is the personalities. I'm not just talking about Kelly, Andy, Taj, Joel, Mick, all the competitors. I mean, they're personalities in themselves. Don't forget about Sports Illustrated doing a 12 or how many pages it was a couple months ago about Kelly and Andy. And it really was a saga of their rundown of the ASP thing, but it was really about personalities. So that's what I'm talking about. Media loves personalities. And we got millions of them. We got the guts and depth guys, the gladiators, Laird, Ross, Pete Mel, Flea, Mike Parsons, Derek Donor. You ever talk to him? And then we have the artists, Ozzie Wright, Nathan Fletcher, Donna, Jack Johnson. They're in our midst. Artists, musicians, creative people, inspirational people that work in our ranks in the companies that design and do art and paint. Let's get their personalities out there. It's all part of our culture. We have the girls, Lane, Lisa, Kayla, Chelsea. And then we have the characters, Greg Knoll, Flippy Hoffman, Barry Bertleman, and as you can go on and on and on. And what about the biggest story in the past year, maybe even 10 years, about a young surfer from Kauai who got attacked by a shark and lost her arm? Captured the media of the whole planet for months and months. Came out of nowhere. These are the characters we have in our culture. But what about the 19-year-old kid from Huntington Beach that every summer he drops everything, leaves his family, goes to Sumatra in Indonesia, parks himself in a infested village with malaria and death all around him, and he surfs all by himself. Talking about Timmy Turner. I mean, I thought I was hardcore, but let me tell you, this kid is unbelievable. Wayne Lynch, Jim Banks, the Nomads. And that's just some of the water people. We start throwing in the skate people and the snow people, the Damon Ways of the world, Gator, Jamie Lynn, Craig Kelly, that's just to name a few. The personalities are so important in our businesses to drive our culture and make it part of what we do. Trust me, we're all in this together. If we can all grow the pond, it'll be better for everybody. And believe me, in this room, we're not the enemy. A bad word in today's world, I'm sorry. We're not the competition. The competition's out there. We're in this together. I figured out a long time ago I'm not going to put Billabong out of business, and I don't think they're going to put us out of business. So if we all just work together and grow the pond, we'll all be better off for it. Internet. But I think the biggest threat and the biggest concern, the thing we always got to do is to protect the core shops. Support your local retailers up and down the beach, in the mountains, in the streets. These are the places where kids come to connect with their culture. They buy surfboards, they buy wetsuits, they smell the wax, they talk to chicks, they learn about rail design and fin design. And it's our job, no matter what, to protect these guys, whatever they need. They're so important. And I'll tell you what, we are the only industry that has a core like this. Do you think FUBU and Mecca and Fat Farm have a core shop retailer base like we do? No. Do you think that Tommy and Ralph have a core customer base like us? We are so fortunate that we have an army of core retailers all around the world that support us and show us off and take care of us, and we need to take care of them. It's as simple as that.